A hamster that made Australia a happier place. Jim Russell can. He's just turned 80, and for half a century he's been making us smile over the daily goings-on of an Aussie family called the Potts. And as Howard Gipps explains, Jim Russell's motto in life might well be, back to the drawing board.
I'm worried about some of the boys Mike is running around with, Mrs. Potts says. And Mr. Potts said, oh, I don't think there's much wrong with them. He said, that's the trouble, my boy. You're not sufficiently discerning. Now look at that stuff.
For 75 years, this cartoon family, the Potts, have been an important part of the way we look at ourselves. And for 56 of those years, they've sprung from the inspired mind and hand of Jim Russell. That gives him the world record because no one else has done it continuously for as long as he has.
So how many of these do you think you've done over those 56 years?
Someday I'll work that out. I've never had a break except Christmas days, so you can say 364 days of every year for the last, 56 years.
Now, what would that be?
I don't know.
It works out to a staggering 20,384 of the daily strips, plus another 2,912 of the more challenging weekly ones like this one. But after so long, Jim stopped counting.
He says, hi, Uncle Dick, this is my new mate, Spadger McDag. Hi. He says, huh, I suppose you think those sort of clothes look good, eh? Suits me, Pops. And your hair.
The Potts has always been about those seemingly smaller concerns in Australian life, never about heavy topics like political parties, religion or sex.
I mean, some people would say without politics, sex or religion, it's very difficult to talk about life.
There's lots of things. There's football, there's cricket.
Beer.
There's a woman shopping. These are the things in life that just have sustained the Potts.
The strip started life in 1920 under a different title. Its original creator, Stan Cross, called it You and Me. The characters slowly evolved, and in 1940, when Jim Russell took it over, Mr. and Mrs. Potts would have been recognisable to today's readers. It was considered a bit controversial for its time because of the family arguments, and editors asked Jim to tone it down. So to prevent it becoming too bland, he created that rascal relative, Uncle Dick, the relation who comes to stay for a week but never leaves. So what if he does look a bit like Jim?
Somebody once said about Uncle Dick is that he does everything that any man would like to get away with. But I don't know whether I've grown to be like him or he's grown to be like me.
He's doing the things you'd like to do, maybe, some of the time.
More or less. He's my alter ego.
Come quick, Herr Masso. Der Führer at it again, was?
What again? Adolphus, stop this carpet nibbling.
Now here's a different side to Jim's art. During the war, his talents were used to create this propaganda comic, Adolf, Hermann and Muzzo. Hitler was portrayed as a carpet-chewing lunatic with lackeys who scoured the Western world for ever tastier carpets.
They said that he ate carpets in his anger. So what you did is you saw them selecting carpets for his new room.
And the lovely Brussels carpets we give you for dessert, Dolphy.
He was an ogre, but yet here I was making him a funny figure.
At the end of the war, Jim's name was discovered on a Nazi hit list, so his work had made it all the way to Berlin.
Would you welcome Mr. Potts, Jimmy Russell?
He's widely regarded as the doyen of our cartoonists. Even in his 80s, he shows no sign of slowing up the work.
You ever going to run out of ideas?
I don't think so. It's like running out of thinking, you know.
The world isn't quite so patient. When the media employs artistic people, they generally expect you to create magnificent work